What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, you are watching TWA Motorsports, and in today's video we're gonna be doing a little work on the 55. I need to test fit a motor, I need to test fit a transmission. I need to make sure it's gonna work. We're not gonna have to cut out any of the floor and whatnot, but anyway, what we're gonna be doing is that 6-liter back here behind me. You can see it on the engine stand. Guys, I actually had that put together for my flatback black Chevy pickup back there, but because the architecture is the same on all LS motors, I'm going to be using it because it's nice and clean to test fit in this guy today. I've also got a transmission that's got some busted off bell housing bolts, but it'll work because this is supposed to be a 4L80, and the motor I'm actually going to be using, guys, is the one I pulled out of that Trans Am. You can see it back there on the ground. No, I'm not going to be using the 6-speed. I've thought about it, but I think ultimately I've got a good 4L80 back there that I had rebuilt. I've got a nice converter. I want this to be an automatic. So anyway, in today's video, we're gonna see if that engine will fit into this location. I also got a super expensive oil pan that apparently is needed in order to clear all the steering components of the 55. So we're gonna be putting that together and hopefully setting it down in this thing. So I've been cleaning up a little bit, moving stuff around. I'm waiting on parts for the OBS, actually waiting on a warmer day to do some painting. And then, guys, this poor Trans Am has been giving me tons of fits. Still don't have a tuner out here, but hopefully he'll be showing up soon. But anyway, let's get the motor rolled over here, let's get the cherry picker rolled over here, and let's see what we can do. One of the things we're going to have to do, obviously we're not going to be able to get our cherry picker under there with this thing slammed. So I don't have it all the way down. Let's put, yeah, it's got 30 pounds in it. Let's see if we can get the front of this thing up where my arms will clear for my cherry picker. I don't know how much pressure these things hold, but it's still going up. I think that'll work. Looks really goofy. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I'll probably have to do the back too, but we'll mess with that here in a little bit. Let's see if we can get the engine rolled over here. And this is a studded oil pan, so you have to screw the studs in. I'm not going to be using all of them just since we're test fitting it, but I didn't want to put it on that motor back there because it's so gross. I want to clean that up first. Now, this motor itself is nothing real magical, just a stock rebuild 6-liter. I put some 243 heads on it and some aftermarket valve springs just because I slid a somewhat small cam in this thing. Nothing crazy, that's for sure. Look at that. That looks terrible. Oh well, we're not worried about that. Let's pop that oil pan out of there. It's a Moroso pan, but like I said, it's studded. So we got to figure out what bolts we're going to need just to get it set kind of in place, and then we'll worry about picking this thing off. Now you can see what I'm talking about. It comes with studs. It also comes with a pickup too, which we don't need to do that right now. We will do that when we're ready to actually put it on the motor. But let's see if we can get a couple of these started. And it's probably a good idea if I use the oil pan gasket because that'll push it down some. I just want to make sure our clearance is good. But you can see it's baffled. It's got a baffle in it here, and it's cut to clear all that front suspension because the suspension up front kind of goes up here, and so like the F-body oil pan will not fit this thing. I think 4 will be enough for now. It's not that big. That pan's not that heavy, so we're just going to put 4 in it. If I feel like it needs to be cinched up in the back, obviously we got some smaller ones for that timing cover in the back. Let's see if we can set this thing in place. Once we got the pan roughly threaded on here, let's put this plate on the top so we can lift this. This plate just came in so handy. Get it on here, and then we are going to go grab a transmission. Like I said, I got a dummy over there. And we got that thing off the engine stand. Everything looking good. Now, I need to go grab my transmission. I wonder what those holes are for. Oh, maybe not. That's welding. Look like holes in the pan. Let's go grab my transmission. Like I said, I have a dummy one that has no guts in it, which makes it really light. Also need to find some bolts. Oh, I like it. See what I'm talking about? Got a bad hole in the back. So, we're ready to see if this thing will stab in there. I don't know. I don't know how much clearance we're gonna have. I gotta get the obviously the motor mounts out of my box over there, but let's go ahead and start sliding it in first. I believe. I think that's enough angle to get it started, or at least I hope so. Well, so far, it's not looking terrible. I don't know though. That suspension, you guys see what I'm talking about? That's the steering linkage right there. I don't know. We'll see if we can lower it down a little and just keep scooting it back. It's a pretty tight fit. The clearance problems I think I'm going to have issues with are the front of this oil pan, but I'm going to go grab my motor mounts and start those. It looks like, yeah, maybe. This is a little far back, it looks like. And obviously the transmission needs to go up in the back, but I've got a jack under there trying to walk it back and forth. It is, it's a snug fit, that's for sure. Check that out. It's in there, and it's not hitting. Had a little bit of trouble. This one is tweaked a little. Not a lot of room for headers, I'll tell you guys that. But we're gonna see. I'm actually gonna try to put those headers on that motor over there just to kind of see where they line up. I don't think there's any way they'll work on this on the driver's side because of the steering box. Maybe. And if so, it's probably one of those deals where you'll have to put them in before the motor goes in, if I had to guess. I just don't think you're going to snake them around that. See how close it is? It's going to have to be almost an immediate turn. I don't know. I may measure that. But anyway, we've got it in there. I'm going to go ahead and roll the cherry picker out of the way. Still having trouble getting the transmission to line up. I have a feeling, okay, so one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to have to change the degree that the motor slants. Looks pretty good right here. I've got the car level. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's actually 100% level. The frame, the bottom of the frame anyway. And so it's technically going to go a little like this when you're driving. It's going to be a little lower in the front. So I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. Right now, it looks like we're about... When you originally set this up, it was 3 degrees, which is what you're supposed to do. Now it's at about 6. That's too much. Problem is I'm out of room to come up with the transmission in the back before it hits the floor. So if I want to indeed run 3 degrees based off the frame being level, then I'm going to have to cut the floor out, or at least the transmission tunnel. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to mess with it and do a little reading overnight, over the next day or two, and we'll just kind of see where we go from here. I got the trans mount in, but, and I think we're good as far as the angles go. So what I ended up doing next was I tried to thread one of those headers in there. You can see that I've got that one put in off that motor that came out on an F body, and I thought, man, I'll get lucky and this will actually work, but it's not. It's not going to work. It needs to go back, which means that secondary tube is the only one that's really in the way. So I think I could probably get a friend of mine to just cut that section out and shorten it. And that may be what I end up doing. I don't know. But these do not fit. And guys, look, I ordered this pan from a company that I bought the motor mounts from, and they made a stainless set of headers, but now they don't make it anymore. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that. They're just discontinued. And so the only header that I can source for this thing are mild steel, which I'd rather have stainless, like what's in there right now. I can get mild steel. There's a kit from Hedman, I believe, or Hooker makes a set. And on their set, that tube, that primary tube there, is kind of dented up or moved. in order to clear the steering gear. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do there. And these, I believe, are 1 7/8, and you can only get 1 3/4. Now, look, is that a deal killer? No, it's not, but I'd rather have 1 7/8 if I were gonna buy something. So we may see. I don't know if I'm gonna use these, have them trimmed up, buy another set, or possibly, if anybody knows, let me know in the comments as far as if you've done a LS swap on a 55 and you used a long tube header, what header did you use? I know the 2292 is the hooker part number, but other than that, if you guys know of any other brands, I've used Speed Engineering out here on a lot of stuff, and I've been really happy with that. They sell a mid-length for this car, but not a long tube. But I may buy a set of their cheap stainless, and like I said, have those cut, or maybe even have these cut. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video right here, guys. I haven't had a lot of time out here other than us getting the motor in there, and it looks like it's gonna fit. I don't think we're gonna have any issues. I thought we were gonna maybe have to trim the tunnel up, but we're not gonna have to do that. I am gonna have to adjust the way the trans mount goes in, which you guys will see down the road. But hey, we got a motor in this thing, which is a start, right? If you did enjoy this video, guys, please, like always, smash that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed, go down, hit the subscribe button. Of course, like always, ring that bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video on this or anything else. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.